All right, so today's lecture is about the top-down and bottom-up approach used for the software design. Now, we have already seen certain principles regarding the software design. Those principles were related to problem partitioning, that was stepwise refinement, abstraction, that was data abstraction or the procedural or the control abstraction. Then we studied about the modularity and functional independence. These are considered to be literally same. And then now we are going to discuss this particular topic, that is the approach or the strategy we are going to use for the software design. There are two approaches we can use. Those particular approaches is, one is called as the top-down approach and the second one is called as the bottom-up approach. Now, starting up with the first one, that is the top-down approach. Now, these particular names are already suggesting something, that what it will be like. When I say top-down approach, it obviously means the direction of designing will be from higher level to the lower level. That means if there is a hierarchical structure, then in this particular hierarchical structure, we are going to talk about the complete problem, and then we are going to break it into tasks, and then further these particular tasks can be broken down into subtasks. So this is how the top-down approach moves on. Let's see how it defines. In top-down model, an overview of the system is formulated without going into detail for any part of it. That means we are not going to consider the detail factors. We are not going to consider the low-level details of modules, but we are going to work on the overview of the system. We are going to formulate it. Then each part of the system is then refined in more details, as I have shown you in the diagram, that the problem, that the system will be decomposed into, let's say, 3 or 4 parts into tasks, and further this is going to decompose into subtasks. Each new part may be then refined again, defining it in yet more details until the entire specification is detailed enough to validate the model. Now, till what step we are going to decompose it, or till what step we are going to refine them? We are going to refine until we are sure that we are going to include all the minute details that are required by the customer. Those particular functionalities are to be included in this particular part, and we are going to validate this model. Now you can just see, you can relate this particular to stepwise refinement which we have studied in the earlier lecture. We did stepwise refinement. What was that? It was one task was given in detail, and that particular lower details were further divided and elaborated into very low level tasks. So that was the approach. Now you see what we are going to do. We are going to take a particular task, split it into subtasks, and then repeat it until we achieve a particular smallest module which is independent and which is programmable, right? Eventually, we end up with small enough functions that can be easily programmed. The objective of dividing these particular tasks into subtasks is what we need to have a module which can be easily programmed, which can be easily coded, right? And we have already seen this is also called as the stepwise refinement, this approach. Now, let's see how it goes. As I have defined, this is a generic model. We are also going to take an example to understand it in detail. This is what? This is a system, right? Now, this system is defined or decomposed into further division. That is, let's say it is program 1 and program 2. This program is further divided into different modules, let's say module 1 and module 2, and this module is further divided into 3 parts, which are termed as submodules. Now you can see that these are the leaves. You all know how the tree structure is being defined. These are the leaves of the hierarchy of the tree, and these are the modules, or these are the small tasks which are to be considered and which are to be worked alone, and they will be programmed here so that we can easily integrate them at the end and reach to this particular problem solution, sorry. Right, now this is a generic model, and the approach we are using from higher level to the lower level, from higher level to the lower level, right? Now in this, when we define the top-down, or sorry, yes, top-down approach is what we are using it in a programming style, right? Generally, we use this particular style in the softwares. Why? Because this is very helpful in the programming, because we have to actually code these particular functionalities. So the mainstay of traditional procedural approach languages is the design, in which what we are doing, we are specifying complex pieces and then dividing it into successful smaller pieces. And when I say successful, that means it goes on, right? The technique for writing a program using top-down methods is to write a main procedure that names all the major functions it needed. It will define all the major functions which are needed by this particular system, right? Later, this particular procedure will be coded, and the programming team will work out the subroutines and integrate, test them individually, and then integrate them, right? So let's take an example to understand it in detail and to get the more clarity. I've taken the example of any mobile system, right? This is a generic one. Just to understand the concept, that is, when I think of a mobile phone, I think of certain modules, and the main features of is the voice call. Second, I think of a text message, and third thing, I think of storing the data and the contacts, right? So yeah, what we are going to do, these are the 3 main modules I have thought of, right, as the working modules. Now this voice calls is not easy to program just in one go. I have to make it more detailed. I have to decompose it further so that I can easily program those particular subtasks, right? When I say program, I mean to say I can code them. Now, voice calls is, one thing is I can receive the voice call, I can receive the data, I have to obviously convert it to analog, I have to send the voice. Further, the sending of voice needs to be divided into like capturing of voice, converting to digital, and transmitting it to the network. So now all these tasks, which are further subdivided, makes or helps the programmer to easily code this particular function. Now here he has to only do what? Convert it into the digital form. Here he has to only capture the voice. Now these are the subtasks which are easier to manage and easier to define and code. Plus they are very easy to test now. And then further, these 3 can be integrated, and they can work as send voice module, right? Similarly, when all these 4 will be integrated together, they can work as the module, that is the voice calls module. So here in the starting, what we were looking at the mobile phone with the bigger picture, just thinking of attending, having the voice calls, using the text messages, whether it's to receive or send messages, whether it's to have the multiple data type like images, videos, etc., etc. We can also include that particular factors in this to enhance it. Then contact data store again. So this is how what we are going to do. We are going to we are going to decompose, or we are going to use the top-down approach. Right now, you can see this particular top-down approach is very easy for those particular ones where I cannot think of these particular details in the starting. Right? When I think of mobile phone, I cannot easily, systematically think of these particular things that I need to transmit something on data. I need to convert the analog to digital, or so on and so forth, right? So this method makes it easier. And it will also help in having the less of errors, right? So this was the example for top-down approach. Now, taking up the bottom-up approach. Now, bottom-up approach, design approach, is just the opposite of the top-down. As the name suggests, it is very clear with the name itself. We are using the approach from bottom to up. That means we are thinking and working on lower components or the lower level details, low-level details, and then we are integrating them and forming the system in the systematic manner. Now let's see what it defines. The design starts with lowest level components and subsystems. By using these components, the next immediate higher level components and subsystems are created or composed. The process is continued till all the components and subsystems are. All right, so we were talking about the bottom-up design, right? So I was telling you bottom-up design is what? It is just the opposite version of the top-down approach. When I say bottom-up, it means we are working from low level to high level. And when I say low level, I mean to say we are going to work on the low level details, and I'm going to capture the lowest level components of the system and then continuously integrate them till I reach to one single component that forms the system itself, right? So the design starts with the lowest level components and subsystems. You can call anything. You can call them small sub-modules. You can call them subsystems. You can call them lowest level components. These are one and the same thing. By using these components, the next immediate higher level components and subsystems are composed. So we are going to repeatedly integrate those particular subcomponents till I reach to a single component. The process is continued till all the components and subcomponents are composed into one single component, which is considered as complete system. Now, when I say bottom-up design is working. This is the same picture I have used, but with little bit difference. What is the difference here? The difference we can see here is the approach or the movement or the flow of working is just the opposite, from the lower level to the higher level components, right? Otherwise, this is same. So we are going to first search and analyze these particular submodules, and then we are going to integrate them. Now you can just think of one thing. In software approaches, you cannot think of the very minute level details in the software. You can just skip those. You can be out of that particular context until and unless you have the clear understanding and detailed picture of that particular existing software. If you are working on a software that is already existing and you are using a maintenance phase, or you are integrating certain extra features into that, then you can use this particular approach. Else it is not easy to use this particular approach for a software that is designed from the scratch. And when I say designed from the scratch, I mean to say designing from the starting level. You are starting from zero level, right? For this bottom-up approach, we can give the example of building blocks, right? Building blocks are the example of bottom-up design, because these are the parts are first created and then assembled without the regard to how the parts will work when assembled. So I cannot easily use this particular approach. Now using this, I've given an example, which I already told you, that is building blocks. You must have heard of Lego, right? I'll take that particular point. Building blocks are example of bottom-up design because the parts are first created, then assembled without the regard to how the parts will work in the assembly. Okay, so this is easier to work with the hardware parts. You already have hardware, raw materials, and you are assembling them, you are integrating them, and then it is working as one module, but not for the simple sake with the this particular software designs. Now in this, with the help of this context, I can explain one more thing. Here we are working out with the rank of the student. So we are going to take the practical. This is very small program. That is why very small module. That is why we can think of this, that we have practical assessment, we have theory assessment. We will drive marks from this. Then we are going to drive the percentage, and we are also going to consider the sports grade, and then finally we are going to derive the rank for the student, right? So this is the bottom up approach. We are moving from the low level component to the higher level by integrating them. Now this is just a comparison. Here the comparison is what we have taken in the top-down approach. We have engineering the robots. We have to engineer the robots form and function. Now we are going to understand how it will function, what are the parts needed for it, and what will the robot work as overall functioning. What will be the overall functioning of this particular robot? So we are going to work on the different components that are going to fit together. So we have to understand the little components, the small components. Only then we can work with the bottom-up approach. But here we are going to use the approach, that is, we are going to understand the complete functioning of the robot, what all functions it can do, and then we will break it into the modules, and then further these particular modules can be divided into subtasks or submodules so that we can easily program those, right? In bottom-up approach, we have used the Lego pieces. You must be familiar with this form. That is, we are going to use the Lego pieces. That is again the building blocks type of thing, and we are going to step and details assembling these particular Lego pieces, and then we can form the support arm for sensor exam, right? Now, what is the difference between the bottom-up approach and top-down approach? It is the basic ones are we are decomposing in top-down, we are composing, or composition is used within bottom-up. In top-down, we are doing the hierarchical modeling. Now here we are working on the identification of the basic useful routines which are in utility. We can reuse easily the components which are in bottom up. Now here the top-down approach is saying that it can defer the implementation details. That means because we are working on the overall picture, overall or overview of the complete system, that is why it is implementation details can differ, and here not natural for people to assemble. It is not easy to assemble. Next, top function of the system might be hard to identify, so it is not an easy task to work on. Sometimes you can't build a program from pieces you have started. It can end up to a wrong detailing or some functions which are missing. So what we can say, though top-down approach is a better approach for software designing, but in practical approaches, we cannot say that only one approach is being used. There is no one approach that can compete with the strategy. Then what we are using? We are using the hybrid model. And when I say hybrid model, I mean to say we are using both the top down plus the bottom up approach wherever and however it is needed. That means in the single system designing of the system, we can use either the top down, and in addition we can use the bottom up approach also. So that is what the top down and bottom up approach defines.